So, the Meekopocalypse is here. You know what that means. Everybody in existence on December 14th, 2023 gets a free brawler named Meeko, aka Doomsday is nigh. So, it's time for us to unlock him. Since this last update drops, the game has been a little laggy, but it should hopefully be fixed soon. Here he is in his monkeyish splendor, here to bring ruin to the battlefield and everyone's sanity. So, it's time to max him out and get the best advantage that we can over the other Meeko chums. I totally don't fall under that category. This isn't Meeko, it's his third cousin, Mike. Anyway, it costs 17,765 coins to max out a new brawler and buy everything for him as long as you purchase super rare gears. This includes 1 gadget, 2 super rare gears, 1 star power, and the hypercharge. Since Meeko's hypercharge isn't available for coins yet, we can't buy it, and I'm not wasting 79 gems on a hypercharge. I'm going to go with the Clipping Scream gadget, the Monkey Business star power, and the health and damage gears. We'll see how that goes, but I suspect we may need the shield gear if we're up against nothing but a bunch of Meekos. We are now ready to push Meeko, so let's start out in Solo Showdown. Just as I expected, nothing but Meekos. Except, they're not bots. Why are they not bots? I'm literally at 0 trophies. I tried to attack another Meeko, but he clearly played him before at least once. I have no clue what I'm doing. I got out of there, and another Meeko tried to team with me. I'll just have to betray him later. Look at this, I literally can't hit anybody. This map has no power cube boxes, so this is actually the worst game mode for the Meekopocalypse. Another Meeko somehow had a super, but he literally just wasted it. Another Meeko tried to kill me, but had to jump away. This is the state of Brawl Stars now. Luckily, I managed to kill one. I now have 1 power cube to my name. I looped around the bushes in the middle looking for prey, but nobody came close enough. I got a hit on 1, but then they all followed me into the bushes. Somehow, I charged my super, so I used it to escape. It came down to me and 1 other Meeko, but I was already in the middle of my super. I successfully dodged it, but yeah, I have no clue what I'm doing and I lost. At least we still got rank 2. I then decided to try playing Knockout since it had a good map for Meeko, but it was the same exact thing. I tried my best, but I still didn't really know what I was doing. My teammates weren't doing so great anyways, and we were absolutely destroyed. However, I did learn that the health gear is pretty much useless for Meeko, so I swapped it out for the shield gear. That might actually be a difference between victory and defeat. We'll have to see. I then decided to try out Brawl Ball, but that was just another big mistake. It was still more Meekos. We had a Cordelius on our team, and I hoped that might actually help us, but no. All of the enemy Meekos just jumped us, and Cordelius was useless. There really wasn't much he could do. I tried to score, but Meeko's reload speed is just way too slow. Eventually, we managed to score, but that didn't make a difference. As soon as we respawned, the enemy team took control over the map and we were pressed to the goalpost. They scored and there was nothing we could have done to stop it. The same thing happened again and we lost. But I had an idea. I went back to Solo Showdown. I had the best strategy ever thought of planned out. I spawned in and the games began. Everyone rushed towards the center and I just hid in the nearest bush. Yeah, I'm gonna try bush camping. A few other Meekos saw me, but it's not a big deal. I just stood there and the kills started rolling in. 9, 8, 7. Eventually, the fog had closed in enough I was forced to move. But we were already rank 5. By the time I had moved to another bush, we were rank 3. I tried to attack Sam, but I messed up and had to get out of there. Luckily, I took out the other Meeko while he was low and barely managed to take out Sam. I finally got rank 1. Let's go. The next battle started, and I ended up just playing hopscotch with a bunch of other Meekos. Somehow, I took one out. Another just stood still while another one killed him. I guess the Meekopocalypse got to him. A lot of time went by with nothing happening, but then I found a Leon and took him out. We met up in the center and I thought I was getting the hang of the timing. Basically, you never want to be the first to attack another Meeko. Unfortunately, I messed up and I didn't have full ammo. But we still got rank 2. So in the next battle, I decided to try something. If you aim just slightly ahead of you when another Meeko is jumping you, you should land close enough to hit him. This way, you'll always be the one dealing damage. You can't auto-aim after they jump, or else you'll just attack where they were previously standing. I tried this out on another Meeko, but didn't need to aim because he didn't have enough ammo to get away. I tried it out on another Meeko, but he refused to attack me. I eventually caught him off guard and took him out. This timing is so confusing, but I was determined to master it. I took a Meeko out with my super, and a low-powered player just gave up. It was now Showdown, and of course, the other player was a Meeko. I wanted to practice my attack timing, but he just gave up too. Thankfully, I had another plan. I got my brother Mango and went into a match of Duo Showdown. But the twist is, Mango was using a brawler at 700 trophies. This put me in that trophy range, and since nobody had gotten Meeko that high up yet, I was the only one. Oh yeah, it's time for some carnage. After a few battles, Mango had to leave, but we managed to get Miko up to 170 trophies. This was enough to pass most other Miko players, so we don't have to deal with as many of them anymore. I'm going to try another round of solo showdown, and maybe we can get rank 1 this time. While 2 other Mikos were fighting, I snuck in and stole a power cube. They both left, so I got to grab another power cube. I jumped at another one, but then another Miko tried to get it at the same time. Luckily, he panicked and jumped first. This allowed me to get rid of him easily. I now had 7 power cubes. I began to attack Gray, but Stu strolled on up and tried to take me out. Luckily, Gray had hit him once, so I was just able to use a gadget and one-shot him. It was now showdown, and I had 10 power cubes. And the last brawler was a Colette. All I had to do was get her to waste her super and we'd be golden. I used my super to bait hers, and she actually used it. I killed her in one shot and finally got rank 1 in solo showdown. Let's go. I then decided to try out Gem Grab. The enemy team had a Miko, but luckily, I had learned the ways of Miko. I knew how to time my jumps. Hopefully, he won't be much of a problem. I jumped over to the gems, grabbed 2, and jumped away. That gave us a nice start. I took out Maisie, and almost took out Sandy as well. Unfortunately, he used a Sweet Dreams gadget and stunned me. I hate it when players escape with no hit points left. Anyway, the enemy Miko tried to get rid of Janet, so I stepped in. Miko supered away and switched targets to me. This was a bad move because all I had to do was jump away. He turned his attention back to Janet, but we just got rid of him. While all of that was happening, Bonnie had dealt some good damage and collected all of the enemy team's gems. It was now 8-0. Sandy tried to stun me again, but I just jumped out of the way. Not this time. The enemy Miko tried to attack Bonnie, but I helped out. Sandy still got her, so I used my super. Sandy stole all of the gems, but I just landed and took him out along with Maisie. That was awesome. I now had all of the gems we needed to win, so I just ran towards spawn. Time was running out, so I just used my super to lock in the win. I circled the center just to flex, and the game ended. We won, and we are now at 200 trophies. At 300 trophies, I tried out Knockout again. Luckily, the enemy team didn't have any annoying brawlers. I feel bad for them though, since I'm their annoying enemy. Anyway, I made quick work of Cordelius, and we all crowded over poor Maisie. The enemy Squeak was nowhere to be seen. That's a pretty bad teammate. He finally decided to show himself, so Shelly and I went through the portal and took care of him. On to the second round, I instantly destroyed Squeak, and Shelly's quick gadget use helped me finish off Maisie. All that remained was Cordelius, but we quickly found him. He used his super on Shelly, but she took care of him with her own super. That game went by very quickly. After a few more games, I decided to purchase Miko's other gadget, Presto. That extra jump range could come in extremely helpful, and I hadn't found much use for his other one anyway. We are now at 400 trophies, and we're trying out Heist. This isn't a very good map for Miko, but I wanted to see how he'd do. The enemy team was all great Heist brawlers, so our chances were already pretty slim. But I simply hopped over the walls and began some carnage. I took out Colette, made Mandy miss her super's aim on our safe, and dealt some damage to theirs. I charged my super off of Spike and landed on the enemy safe. I jumped away and got rid of Spike. While I was attacking the safe, Hank took care of Spike again. The poor guy can't catch a break. We got rid of Mandy, but then she got me back after she respawned. Colette then got me in her super, and it looked like they had a chance of tying up the game. But then I landed my super on Spike and took out him and Colette. I almost killed Mandy as well, but she got me and escaped with very few hit points left. Spike finished her off, but not before she landed her super on our safe. Spike and Colette were coming at me with both of their hypercharges, so I supered to the enemy safe where the rest of my team was. It was now a race to destroy the safe, but they didn't have Mandy helping, and we successfully managed to win. Special thanks to Hank. Now at 550 trophies, we are back in good old solo showdown. There was only one other Miko, and I knew how to take care of them easily. I began with my power cube getting stolen by Surge, and I barely escaped Nita. I wasn't starting off so well, but Gray came along and took care of Nita. A Shelly with 5 power cubes almost got away, but Miko's Presto gadget came in clutch. I knew it would be useful. Gray tried to trust Wiggle with me, so I immediately took him out. Like you do. I waited for the fog to close in on Fang, and took care of him easily. He even used his super, but it was no use. I supered onto Chester, but he just ran into the fog. But it was a trick. He used his super to heal and tried to escape. It didn't matter because I just one-shotted him. The enemy Miko caught me off guard and got me pretty low. I managed to keep away from him long enough to heal a little bit and got back to 3k health. That was enough. He tried to jump me, so I jumped in place. I hit him one more time and won. That was kind of stressing me out. It is now day 2 of the Mikopocalypse. That's right, we did all of that in one day. So we get to claim Miko's spray. Let's go. Fast forward 1 month later, and I have Miko's mastery. Yeah, I kept pushing him, and it wasn't exactly fun, but it was worth it. I will make a video about it soon. So, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and have a great day. Bye.